I'm sorry. Is that funny? Are you stand-up comic? Is that what you do now?
I will consult the bones.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
I'm sorry I was born with this perfect bone structure.
It's time for the Comedy Bone Podcast, stand-up comedy radio with your host, Brian Monarch. Are you ready?
Old is ready.
There are 215 bones in the human body. That's one.
I just got that old-fashioned romantic feeling where I'd do anything to bone her.
All right. Episode number 2. Comedy Bone Podcast. The podcast by stand-up comedians for stand-up comedians. We have today, number 1, Melissa Villasenor.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
I'm good.
Good.
Thanks for having me and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. You're on America's Got Talent, finalist. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's been helping out, I'm sure.
Tremendously, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the couch, we have Dick and Darren. There we with his own applause breaks. Actually, that there's a candle in front of this camera, and it is like all I see is smoke.
You see a smoke?
Wow,
the big Snoop Dogg. Ooh, wait.
Yeah, entertain them with some impression.
That's good. Can I say that I saw your first, or listened to the very first podcast that you did. I put it out there. I always like to listen before I go on one. And, yours is great. It was awesome. I had a great time. I went for a nice long jog and I heard, the Greg Wilson and Eric Griffin going back and forth, and they were kind of roasting Kyle Dunnigan a little bit, and he revealed that he has a girlfriend in the business, that's Sarah Silverman, and it was awesome.
That was awesome. I was pretty happy that he announced that on our podcast, but he did say he had mentioned it on a different podcast as well. And then we have Dangerous Dick.
Hey.
This is our first time meeting. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on. You caught me mid-pizza bite.
There you go.
Darren said they're going to have pizza. I was like, dude, can I go?
Perfect. Do you do stand-up comedy as well? Or
I do, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
About 15 years now.
Oh, wow. So you,
and you're like, and we've never heard of you. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang on one second.
We've done some shows together, too, I think.
I've seen Melissa a bunch of times. You're great, by the way.
Oh, man.
She's great. And you know what? I can say this honestly about you, and I'm not trying to kiss your ass. Everybody has nice things to say about you as a person. Everybody goes, oh, she's so nice. She's so sweet. She's a doll. You know, nobody ever says anything like that about me, so.
It's true. You are very nice, and you're a wholesome girl, too, I think.
Yes.
She's got a wholesomeness to her.
Although she does have a boyfriend now, I just discovered.
Well, yes, I guess so. Yeah.
Is it a boyfriend?
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
That's
we're
cool.
together.
How long have you guys been going out?
It's been like a year now.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
That's
keeping
cool,
that
man.
undercover?
Huh?
Were you keeping that undercover a little bit? Does he come to shows?
I get too nervous when
Really?
anyone like I know comes to shows.
Interesting. I did not know
he
that.
has seen a few of my shows before, but I always get nervous.
Live?
Because he's also I think he's really funny and stuff, so maybe I feel intimidated in some way.
Is he a comic?
Not stand-up, it's sketch.
Ah, nice.
Does he? Okay, so I'm married, and my wife is a funny person, but she's not a comedian. She's really camera shy, so she'll never ever go into anything like this.
Right.
But she says things almost all the time, and it's a different. You know how people have your left brain and your right brain.
Yes.
So I would say that she's a different something. She hits something at a completely different angle that I would never think of. And
Right.
It's so funny, and because she's not a performer, I can use it.
Yeah.
Do you
that's
have that
pretty
with your
cool.
boyfriend?
Yes. I actually have a joke that I have a couple jokes that friends and or exes have given me actually, and they're some of the better jokes sometimes, which is embarrassing to say, but they'll come up with something creative, like I'm never going to use this, go for it. I had a friend actually recently, he just gave me a line, I've been using it as my opener lately.
Oh, really? What is it? I'm curious.
It's, he said he was going to make a t-shirt of this, and he's like, yeah, use it on stage. It was, I think lesbians are just regular chicks that haven't seen my dick yet. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, and it's been working every time, so I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I had a birthday recently, and there's someone that, in our family that always gives out these, I'm sure she will. I'm hoping she'll never hear this, but she's always giving out. Because you said this podcast is by comedians for comedians. And
yes,
she'll never hear it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I've known her for which is great. We want to build up our comedy fan
and
base.
comedy fans.
It's not for relatives of comedians.
Yeah, everything but that.
You guys get your own fucking podcast. Can we curse on this?
Absolutely.
All right, fudge. Listen, that always makes me laugh when you hear a podcast. Can we curse? And then they go yes, and then the person starts cursing, but. I always thought it'd be cool to we can? All right, listen here, you mother pickles. I thought you were going to curse. No, fuck that. It's my, one of my relatives, I won't say who it is, for 14 years now, she's been giving me she gives awful gifts. She gives horrible gifts where it's and you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but you know, I mean, they say it's a thought that count, but what did we say earlier, Dick?
But I thought you were going to get me something better.
Yeah. Cause, and I'm not trying to, it's okay, listen, you know, it's $200 worth of gifts.
Right.
Just give me a gift card for $200 and then I'll make my own decisions. But she divvies it up and she, you know, she'll buy you Wrangler shorts that are cutoffs that are, and then some kind of stuff that you're really, she bought me a Starbucks sleeve thing, you know, and I'm I don't even drink hot beverages there. I usually get the iced dope, whatever. So I was thinking, I know, and she's a beautiful person for giving me these gifts, but it's just gosh, you know. And then my wife goes, well, maybe she never wants to hear the phrase, oh, I already have this.
Yeah, so she's being original.
Oh.
Yeah.
Originally bad.
So I thought that was funny, and I'm sure they'll get a laugh. You know, my wife says things like that where you're can I use that?
I've gotten some pretty bad gifts. My stepmom once bought me, she won't listen to this either, I'm sure. She's
your stepmom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she won't listen. If she does, sorry, Sue. I'm Jewish. Not really religious, but I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
And she bought me these Christianity books. She was, I don't know if she was trying to convert me or what she was doing, but I was just thank you. That's just what I needed.
You know, it would be a good extra punchline on that and be and the weird thing is Sue's not even Jewish. She's Jewish too.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we're all Jewish. She's no, why don't you get away from us?
Nice little little left turn at the end there.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell how bad a gift is by how big the explanation of why it's such a great gift is.
Yeah.
After they give it to you, they're oh, no, see, it's because of this. I got you this because of this.
Yeah.
And you're oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You know, your feet are always cold. I thought I'd get you socks.
Yeah. If you have to explain why it's great, it's not great.
Yeah. Reminds me of that movie, The Ref. Did you see it? With Dennis Leary and Kevin Spacey was in it. It's an older movie. But anyways, there's this part where there's this one relative where she's a multi-millionaire and she gets some snuggy underwear and everything, and she's I forget how it went, so I probably shouldn't go down this road much further, but it's much like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There we go. So let's talk.
That was great. Did you guys see that movie? None of us saw it.
Yeah. I looked over at you, you're looking at me yeah, sure, I saw it. And I was just this isn't going to work.
I know, there's so many movies I haven't seen, and I used to always just go, yeah, and then now I'm starting to feel I should just tell people I haven't seen it. Because they do generally get blown away. They're I've never seen Star Wars.
Are you serious?
Yeah, all these movies. You name a movie, I probably...
That's a lightsaber. It's like a sword of light.
See, I know, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah,
I know the things, and I know...
You've heard all the
R2-D2, but I don't know,
you hadn't even seen Lion King.
No, I did see Lion King recently.
Lion King's good.
Yeah, my wife took my son when it got reissued, and then because I had no reason to see Lion King when it came out originally, in the 90s.
Because you didn't have kids, or
no? I was trying to get laid. I was in my 20s, trying to hook up with girls. Why am I going to be 21? Hey, bros, go watch the cartoons.
Yeah.
So I never saw it back in the day.
So that doesn't happen anymore. You're married.
Married, yeah.
You're on the road all the time.
On the road, and even then, I'm I'm going to watch movies, and then I'm no, I should be watching, DVDs in my set, trying to get better. And then even then, I'm let's just watch porn.
Do you get chuckle fuckers trying to bang you still?
No, not really. You do get it's...
Melissa's here we go.
Yeah.
Why don't get that when you go to...
It is funny though. I do notice that I get older women now that I talk about my family and kids. They have a look in their eye oh, that's sweet, or oh, you're probably a great dad and a great I get that look, but yeah, and I usually try. I don't really stick around a lot, so I split.
Yeah, you're out of the door before they can.
Yeah. How about you, Dick?
No, it's funny you said chuckle fuckers, and I thought, man, not only does that never happen to me, but I never even hear that term.
Yeah,
it doesn't come up. Nobody ever wants to hook up with me after my act. I do a lot of self-deprecating humor. I don't think women are sitting out in the audience going, "Yeah, I got to get with that guy. He has no self-esteem."
Yeah.
You're gonna tell them one of your jokes about how you and a girl into the role playing.
Oh yeah, well I'm kind of a bigger guy. I don't know if you can see me on the camera, but my girlfriend is a big girl too. And in bed we do a lot of role playing. I play with her roles, she plays with mine.
Yeah, back and forth. So like an hour of that, no one's like, oh, "That's cool. I'm good, bro."
Nice.
But you were talking about earlier how people give you jokes. True story. Years ago, I was in bed with a girlfriend, and I go, I'm glad you like me because usually women aren't sexually attracted to me. And she goes, "Oh, I can see that." And I go, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, you look like a giant toddler." And not only was that insulting and dehuman,
right.
enough, but turns out she was from, I think Flint, Michigan, or no, wherever they make that cereal.
Yeah, Kellogg's. Where do they make Kellogg's?
Somewhere in Michigan.
No.
Anyway, she was from there, and she knew the Kellogg family, and she knew the Gerber family. She grew up around those people.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets up and she goes to her closet and unfurls this big blanket that has the Gerber baby logo on it.
Right.
So not only did she totally emasculate me right there, but she's got like a 6-foot visual aid to send it home. So I go to the comedy club that night, and I go up on stage, and I go, "Man, my girlfriend told me I look like a giant toddler," and the whole audience is like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I got a new joke."
Battle Creek, Michigan, I think it is.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
there we
where it's
go.
from.
Battle Creek.
That's the Kellogg's. The most demasculating thing that ever happened to me was I was talking to an ex about anal sex, and I go, "Did you ever have it with your?" We just had it for the first time ever. It was my first time, I think. And she goes,
"Did it hurt?"
This is how it went. I go, "Did you ever have it with your ex?" And she goes, "Hell no."
Because this is huge, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm not small by any
Oh, I
means.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I was like, "Thank you very much for that." I mean, he must be like, I don't know what he's got down there, but
She's like, "Hell no."
at that moment I was just like, "Ooh, that hurt a little bit." Which,
Yeah, that's how I know I don't have a big dick. Is no woman I've ever been with sexually has turned me down for anal.
They're just like, "Go for it."
Yeah,
Please.
I ask, they look and go, "Nah, why not?"
You're actually having
give it a
anal.
try.
You're having anal sex, and I'm like, "Are you in yet?"
Having vaginal sex, you're like, "Let's do anal."
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Heckler situations. You guys,
Oh,
do you get them a
man.
lot? Do you?
I've had some recently.
Oh, really? Where? Any particular story?
Well, yeah, the parlor. The the parlor on Melrose.
The parlor is one of the. It's
Jay Davis's
Yeah,
room, right?
it could possibly be the most difficult rooms because it's super hip and young, and you got people coming to Hollywood to be actresses and models, and they're gorgeous. And I would say the age range there is what the mostly are like from 21 to maybe 32, maybe.
It's like they're not paying attention or
Right.
something.
No.
It's kind of
Interesting.
bizarre.
A lot of fake boobs, a lot of fake tans, a lot of fake personalities.
A lot of fake listening.
Yeah.
The Greg Wilson was telling me a story a while back, and I don't see him bomb. I mean, he's a very funny guy, and he was telling me like he walked up in there and they were not laughing at shit. Like, it was just like not a thing. It was just like crickets.
Dick, we do that podcast, the Dick and Darren podcast, and we've
Right.
had some guests come on that say, they go, "Man, it's weird. Like, a lot of times they'll do weed jokes, and the crowd's like, yeah, it's funny."
They were doing cocaine jokes.
Oh,
and the
they were
audience was
killing.
totally killing, like, yeah, totally relatable.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do when you
That's
go
So
to
it's a
the parlor.
difficult room. So what happened? You go
Oh,
there. I would
that
think
parlor you were
I would
saying?
think they would destroy. There's certain people you would know. Okay, then no, she's gonna kill or he's gonna kill.
I mean, I remember the first time I did that room, it was good, but then recently, the past couple times I've done it, I haven't done that much, but yeah, it's not, they don't respond
What
to
did
me
they,
anymore.
did they say anything though? Were they talking?
Yeah, I was doing some voices, on my stand-up, and then one girl was like, "No, do the sexy girl voice."
Right.
And I was like, "No, I don't want to."
Right.
And then she said, "Why don't you imitate like an orgasm or something like that?" And then I got so angry, and I was like, "You know what? Any guy that wants a chick, here you go. She wants it." And then everyone started clapping and stuff, because I was like, it was just so, she kept like talking.
Well,
and
at least
talking.
it sounded like she was a fan. At least she wasn't trying to attack.
No, she wasn't.
Oh, so she didn't know what
she
you-
was just, I think,
She was like,
Just
"Okay,
trying to-
enough of those voices. Try this voice."
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, so.
Interesting.
And then the past 2 times at the Comedy Store, I've bombed pretty.
Really? The
Yeah.
original room, like late at night, or
Yeah.
that's kind of hard at that time. I mean, there's like
Uh-huh.
50 comics in a row.
Bombing
It's
is
just like-
painful, man. It is
Yeah.
painful. It's like it's a weird thing. Like no matter how good you are, how well you've done.
Yeah.
to bomb, sometimes it's really like, okay, let me get out of this rut, and it's just you're trying and you're switching gears, and it's like nothing's working, and then you just walk off, and you're just like, I want to just take a shower and go to sleep.
Totally. Yeah. No matter how logically you realize it might not be you, you still blame yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this was my fault.
Yeah.
It had to be me. You know, but a lot of times it's not.
And what's hard is like when I go on the road sometimes and I bomb for the whole 40 minutes. It's like the feature act kills, you know, and then it's like I feel terrible because the people are paying so much money and they're expecting like a strong headliner. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
I will tell you, I saw your set on, I saw one of the sets, I saw many sets, but I remember, oh my gosh, you killed it on, America's Got Talent. I was in my living room giving you a standing ovation.
Oh, I remember when you commented and told me
it was
that
incredible.
you liked it.
I mean, you just nailed it in the way that it was just perfect. You nailed it, and it was just great. I think they even made it a promo. I mean, it was so great.
That's awesome.
You know, I mean, so I can imagine, because you have it in you to like kill. And then when you're up there and it's not going like that, it's like, geez.
I would assume, my assumption is if you ever have a problem, it's probably because it's one of those crowds that likes filthy humor, and the guy before them got them in the mode of filthy humor, and then you came up and you had your talent, and they were like, where's the dicks and vaginas? You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I can imagine that happening to you.
And plus, you're talking about the Comedy Store, the original room, which one of the hardest places to get a laugh in the world.
Especially on Mondays and Sundays. And Mondays.
You go up there and you're like, I was on America's Got Talent, and they're like, fuck you. We don't care.
We came to California to boo people like you.
I've seen the cockiest people walk up on that stage so full of themselves, and then 3 minutes later, they slink down like they're totally defeated.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I remember the first time I had a breakdown on stage at the Comedy Store.
What happened?
Where I just got so mad at the audience. Like, at that time, I was driving up from San Diego to do a performance there, so it's at least 3 hours in traffic, and then I'm waiting forever and ever to get my 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you're waiting. I mean, you're talking about a whole day's commitment,
right?
Gas money, parking, and plus, I don't like to pay to park. So what I do is I park on Santa Monica, which is literally you have to walk like a mile uphill, straight uphill,
right,
to get to the Comedy Store. That's the way I get there.
I've been with him. We one time went to the Staples Center to see Van Halen, and we parked in this crazy road in the middle of nowhere, and there's no street lights, and even the car was like, "Help me! Don't leave me here!" Right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Right? He made a good point. He goes, "If you see a place to park and no one's parking there, avoid it. There's a reason. It's going to be bird crap, or people break into the cars. Somebody's going to jump out trying to sell you bath salts or something."
That's like the new thing, the bath salts after that. Oh my God.
So I committed a whole day to go to the Comedy Store, right? I get up there on stage, and if you're doing well at the Comedy Store, all your dreams can come true.
Right.
You can become a regular, more people will see you, an agent or somebody could see you, that you could get cast in a movie or a TV show. You could get
fucked by Pauly Shore.
Yeah. But I mean, all your dreams could come true if you do well on that stage and you're there and they're not fucking laughing and I think it happens to everybody. Because I just lost it, and I was like, fuck you people. I know these jokes are funny. I've done them a million times. Blah, blah. And when I got done, I thought, oh, I'm going to get in trouble because I yelled at the audience. Mm-hmm. Not one single comedian even paid attention because it happens to everybody. Though.
Yeah, they don't mind. I host a show at Sardo's, you guys know, every Wednesday. And I was opening, and I did this routine that I usually start with, and there wasn't any reaction in the crowd. And then there was no more reaction, every joke, no reaction. I was like, what the fuck do I have to do? Then the first comic goes up. No reaction. It was just a bad crowd. So I come back, I pull out my iPhone, I pulled out a recording of the exact same jokes at the Ontario Improv and just put it against the mic like this. Crowd was going crazy, the same jokes, and I was just looking at it like, yeah. That's what a real crowd's like. See how that works?
Yeah. Maybe that's what you should do, Melissa. Just have the YouTube videos of the America's Got Talent and have it just in the queue in your back pocket.
Look at that, huh? Very nice.
See, this is you, not me. That's what you're telling them. What are your biggest pet peeves in the business? I'll tell you mine first. People who steal jokes. And I see it all the effing time, and I can't stand that more than anything. Yeah. I understand there's concepts you're going to use that other people have used, but when you start taking the same wording, the exact same joke, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you a joke, and two of these people are my friends, and I'm not going to call any names out, but I'm going to tell you a joke that I've heard 3 people say. It's the one where they say, last weekend I went to one of those things where the 15-year-old Mexican girl, she has a celebration. What's it called?
Quinceañera?
No, baby shower. 3 people had done that joke. Wow. Not going to name names, but there's no way 3 people are coming up with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's so frustrating. So that's my
too.
biggest pet peeve in the business. You guys have them?
My biggest pet peeve is I have to lose that opening joke now.
Number 4, right there.
Stupid, I did it the old day.
No, I don't know what it is. What's your Dick? Dick has a lot of pet peeves. His
Well, I
comedy-
hate joke
Yeah.
thieves
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh.
Darren and I get into big arguments
Yeah.
about this because he's like, dude, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to let it go.
There is
and I'm like,
nothing.
no,
Yeah.
that's not fucking cool. Especially when the guy's doing better than you, like getting on at all the clubs you can't get on.
Right.
You know, I've seen guys steal my jokes and they're doing them in like big places.
Right.
And I'm like, well, son of a bitch. I mean, it's just such a stab in the back if somebody comes, watches you get a laugh,
Right.
writes that shit down and says it exactly the same way. I've come up with a bunch of different ways to spot joke thieves. And one way that I think you'll agree with is, first of all, joke thieves, all their shit works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because why would they steal jokes that don't work? There's
Right.
no purpose to that.
Right.
So if you see somebody that's just super tight in everything they do, like real comedians that write their own material,
Right.
they're going to tell stuff that doesn't work because they're trying new things all the time.
Exactly.
You're going to see them fail. But hacks, every joke is on
That's
fire.
really good, actually. That's very positive. You know, the next time we're bombing, at least you know people know we're original. Imagine bombing with stolen jokes. That's got to even double.
Yeah.
oh
That's a
God.
big
double
whammy.
whammy.
Another way to spot joke thieves is they're super confident performers. Because, like, when you write a joke and you tell it on stage and it gets a mediocre reaction, it hurts you. You're like, oh, they didn't think I was funny. That's my thing. But if you're stealing jokes, it's just a script that you're shouting out. If it doesn't get a laugh, you don't care. You're on to
Right.
the next one.
Right.
So that's one way, like, you know, let's call Carlos Mencia out, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. The guy's a super dynamic performer. Robin Williams, super dynamic performer. Dane Cook, I could go on a lot. Anyway, I'm not saying those dudes steal jokes anymore, but it's been alleged. But anyway, and then finally,
Dennis Leary stole a bunch of jokes from Bill Hicks. I was watching a YouTube video where they play his and then his and then his. It was like 10 minutes long.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, it was all the same thing. You have to look this up on YouTube. It's amazing.
maybe that's why
Sorry.
Dennis Leary just does acting now, because
Yeah.
Hicks is dead, can't write any more material for him.
He was actually on Dennis, who's the other Dennis from Saturday Night Live? Dennis, he had his own talk show. Dennis Miller. Yeah. He had Bill Hicks on the show, and I guess he was alive when this started, and he was like, he said something about it. It was pretty funny. That's on YouTube as well. But, sorry to interrupt you.
And then one last point.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got about 15 of them, but this is the main one. Hacks only do the very funniest part of a joke. Like, we comedians tend to overtell it.
Right.
We put useless shit in that's not necessary. But the hacks, they just get right to the funny part. And then they sandwich that up against 50 other jokes. It's just the funny part.
They just suck
And
the
they just go
punchline
boom,
from
boom,
other
boom,
people.
boom. Right.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I've noticed, cause I've been seeing it more since I moved to LA. But Darren explained this to me. He's like, dude, the reason they do this is the World Series of comedy
Right.
in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? This is where everybody comes, and literally one joke here, one concept could make you a millionaire. Not even more than that, a billionaire. You know, I mean, do you think Robin Williams ever sits back in on his Learjet when he's going from coast to coast, from mansion to mansion, and thinks about the jokes at the Comedy Store that he used to lift before he would do his Tonight Show appearances? I doubt that he ever thinks about those guys.
I didn't know he did it.
Oh, you never knew that?
I didn't. I've been hearing more and more lately.
Oh, there's a famous story. You know, they used to call him Robbing Williams. You know, that's what they used to, but you know, it could just been haters. But then there's a famous story. It's actually been in print. I don't even know if that makes it true. You know how things work. You go to Snopes.com, but a lot of things you'll read in print and then it's like, oh, it was bullshit. Urban legends. But there's a comedian named Stephen Pearl, and apparently Robin Williams paid him $700 after, he stole his jokes.
Oh,
he wasn't the only one either.
And those guys run into each other, you know, up at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, and I guess they're cordial and they're friends and they're cool and it's all behind them. But
interesting.
You know,
there's something about Louis C.K. and Dane Cook.
Yeah,
I've heard. I don't know what the deal is, but I remember but he had him on his show last season, so it can't be that bad.
No, let me say something real quick about Robin Williams. I'm a big fan. I'm not saying that he's awful, but I love Robin Williams, and I study comedians, and one of the things that I've noticed about him is his real genius is making everything that he says appear like he just thought of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a talent.
Yeah, like when we're doing our acts on stage, the audience thinks they can tell when you're doing material and when you're improvising.
Right.
And if you're improvising, they're going to give it up way more than if they think you're doing a prepared joke.
Right.
And that's what his thing, you know. A lot of people can't even tell you one Robin Williams jokes. They might say, "Oh yeah, I think he's funny." "Oh yeah, tell me one of his jokes." I don't know. He's just funny.
It's more the character and how he delivers and all that. Yeah, I agree. I liked his movies. I don't watch his stand up too much. And when I do, it's just like so animated and crazy and just like, it's just almost like, you know, like when they make fun of him and it's just like, oh, you know, it's just like, that's exactly what when I watch it, that's all I see. And it's just like, but, you know, I like Andrew Dice Clay. So, I mean, everyone has their own.
Yeah, I like Dice Clay. I like Robin Williams. I like Dice Clay.
I love them both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love everybody I mentioned, actually.
It sounded like we're doing about it. Like, here we go. I'd like to see Andrew Dice Clay as Robin Williams. And it would go something like this. But I can't really do it.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
All right, over here. I'll tell you. Yes, I got my tongue up there. I got my tongue up this chick's ass.
Hey, more culling Orson.
Oh,
that was good.
Oh.
Do you know Richard Lewis auditioned right before Robin Williams for Mork?
No wonder,
really?
And he didn't get it? No wonder he's depressed.
He said they hated him, and he goes, "This next guy coming in here is Robin Williams, and if you guys don't hire him, you're crazy." But I think that would have been really wild if they hired, you know, Richard Lewis. He's like, it's like Orson from Hell.
So, America's Got Talent. I've just tried to contact the comic that is doing really well on it. I guess he got through the first audition really well. I forget his name. He's in New York. Yeah. And he was like, I can't talk on Facebook. I can't do that. And he's telling me all these different rules and regulations. He's like, but thank you. And then that was it. Radio silence. I'm like, no problem. But I asked him one more question, nothing back. But like, what do they tell you? Like, you can't say a word to anybody about it? Or?
Yeah, you can't really go on any radio things or tell them what's happening behind the show. It's very crazy how they're really strict about anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, about everything, I mean. And and Facebook, I remember they would get mad at me when people started posting the little video on my page, and my producer, she was like, delete it. I was like, there's like 20 of them posted up there. Like, people just kept posting. I'm like, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not even gonna worry about it. And
did you get in any trouble?
No.
That's good.
I didn't. They're just too much. Like,
I've been watching this season. Interesting show. They make it so, like, you can hear people in the audience when they make a comment. They try to make it so big and grandiose. You know, it's just like, it's not like American Idol.
I got a question. I just got a new voiceover agent. It's an innovative artist. They're supposed to be one of the biggest in the business. And you do so many great voices. Are you doing voices yet? Like professionally?
Like
you must
voiceovers?
I've only done I did.
You're auditioning for them? Are you getting out there?
Yeah, somewhat.
Is that something you'd want to do?
Yeah, it is. I love it. Actually, Adventure Time's my favorite cartoon to do voiceover for.
Oh, you do? You go in there and do that?
I've done 3 episodes.
Awesome.
Already, yeah,
That's cool. What kind of character do you play?
There's just a lot of little background characters. Like, I'll just go in the day of, and then they'll give me a few that, like, okay. Oh, the best one the first time was I was a ham sandwich that got brought back to life. And all I said was, yeah! And then they just let you be silly and stuff. That's probably just one of the best jobs, because you can look like a slob in there and just have fun, you know?
Yeah. Walk in with your shorts and flip-flops, you say your sandwich line and you're out.
I booked a job. I booked, it's one of those Tony Hawk, video games. It was,
cool. I've been hearing a lot about video game voicing.
For Tony Hawk, it was like Underground or Wasteland, I think, or something like that. And it was funny because I played a character. They hired me for one character, and then when I went in there, they what you just said, they give you like, okay, can you do this kind of voice? Can you do that kind of voice? And then, but the main character I played, was a character called Useless Dave, and the voice I used would be something like, you got something to read? I'll read something as this character. Anything, just read that poster.
What about the sun was?
Read a poster? What poster?
The film director, I don't know.
Oh, just something like this. Okay,
the bride is back for the final cut.
I'd be like, whoa, like, the bride is back from the final cut. This is really stupid. It's a new film by Quentin Tarantino. Whoa!
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, it was kind of like Pee Wee Herman, but like he smoked a lot of pot. And then later he went to like a movie theater. Wow! Well,
I really am Pee Wee. La 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 la.
Whoa, that was weird.
So I did that kind of thing.
Do you do it on stage, the Pee Wee ever?
No. 'Cause
Really? You should. That's good, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll get to the Pee Wee in a second.
Okay.
But, this video game character, it's funny because I'm not good at video games, so I can't even, I've tried playing the video, I can't get past the first level.
Right.
To hear my own voice. Cause he's like,
You like call your kids in, I gotta hear myself play this.
I know. Just get to the 6th level, asshole. No. But, gee, Dad. No. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman, it's so funny. Talk about bombing when I first started. The first time I did the road ever was that summer that he got busted. Pee Wee
really?
Herman got busted for, playing with himself in a theater. And it was funny. It was a 3-week tour. And it was one of those triple runs where you do a bunch of one-nighters at the Pacific Northwest.
I'm on that email list. I've never done it, though.
It was, at the time, if I were you, I wouldn't do it. You don't need it, but I lived in the Bay Area, and it's not that far when you're from there, but it's really far from here. Anyway, and you're at a bunch of Red Lions and these hotels, like these, what do you call it, where they drink and stuff? Not bars, but at the hotel bar, I guess, lounge or whatever. And the first week I'm bombing, it was hard, man. But then when he got popped by the cops, I had like something funny, I could do my Pee Wee Herman impression, and it was so stupid. I would never do it now, but it was Pee Wee Herman and that's what I would do. I go, hey, it's Pee Wee Herman, it's Andrew Dice Clay. And then I had a leather jacket, and I would la la la.
Well,
and I would just
Did you do the cigarette behind the
front? Yeah, all that. Trust me, I tried to fill that 20 minutes. It was awful.
That's funny. I think impressions are awesome. I know you had some, Snoop Dogg hit you up after he heard your, Snoop Dogg impression and had you do some shows, didn't he? Or
yeah,
something
that was
like
really cool. His cousin saw me at the Improv on Melrose and they had a family reunion. They hired me 2 years in a row, 2 summers in a row.
That's awesome.
And it was cool. It was really neat, man. I went down to it was at a restaurant in Long Beach called The Reef, and they had this giant, ballroom area, and I got to perform there with Snoop Dogg. He introduced me, and then the next year he introduced me again, and there was video of it. And
that's awesome.
His family was cool. Sometimes when I'm on the radio, the story I say is I go, I wasn't sure if it was really his mom because we're eating dinner. I go, but then she did have the same cheekbones. And I go, is this salt substitute? And his mom was like, no, baby, that's real. So I'll throw in that little joke, but it's all true, and it was great. And the funniest thing about that story is they told me Snoop Dogg told me to keep it clean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. He goes,
because his mom was there?
Yeah, my grandma was out there. So I couldn't curse. I only had to do like 10 minutes, but they said just keep it clean, don't curse. It was really weird that they hired me, but it was awesome.
What about him?
Yeah.
They've heard his music.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I was gonna quote your album.
That's great. Do you guys have, and you probably won't answer this, but do you guys have any people in the business that you just can't stand? Or are there people in the business that you love above others?
Let me think. You guys go first.
I love Darren.
I'm not going to answer back. I love Dick.
Yeah. No, Darren's a good friend. He's taken me like he brought me here today. He didn't have to do that.
That's cool. And it was perfect because we had a missing guest. It was perfect.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for stepping in.
And if you guys haven't noticed, so we not only do we do this podcast, I used to listen to him on the radio. He has a great set of pipes, man. This guy, he's a fill-in DJ when he's not doing comedy on KLOS 95.5.
Oh.
And listen to that. Can you show him that hot rockin' thing you do? He introduces me sometimes when he does this.
It's the big hot rockin', non-stop and less talking, boss jockin', head knocking, finger popping, yanking, cranking, hiney spanking, wham bam, thank you ma'am, 50,000 watt blowtorch of rock and roll! That is the Darren Carter Comedy Show!
95.5 KLOS.
There we go. They're going to want that clip, I guarantee it.
Oh, wait, no, we should say your podcast. No, hey, since we all do voices, maybe we should do a drop for you right now.
Go for it.
This is called the Comedy Bone.
Comedy Bone.
The Comedy Bone. So, what should we say? You're listening to the Comedy Bone?
ComedyBone.com. Yeah, that's where you want to subscribe. That you can.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. www.comedybone.com.
I'll do some of that. And then and then we'll say our names so we get a little plug. Hey guys, you're listening to Darren Carter.
And Melissa Villasenor.
And Dangerous Dick.
And you're listening to the
Comedy Bone. What do you want me to say?
The whole hot rockin' thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're doing a whole production.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start it over. Let's do it.
Like that? Is that good?
This is one of the things I hate about you.
Well, who cares what you hate about
me? I just said that I love you.
Just put you right on the spot.
Darren expects you to read his fucking mind. What you're like, do this, do that, do that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, shouldn't we say our names and then you do the whole hot rock and then the name of and then say the name of the show?
All right, you go first, and then I'll say my name, and then Melissa, and that'll give me a chance to.
Okay, and it's called the Comedy Zone, the Comedy Bone.
ComedyBone.com.
Should we say your name, Brian Monarch?
Go for it.
Brian Monarch, ComedyBone.com. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, it's me, Darren Carter, the party starter.
I'm Melissa Villasenor.
And I'm Dangerous Dick, and this is the big hot rockin', non-stoppin', less talking, boss talking, head knocking, finger popping, yanking, cranking, hiding, spanking, wham bam, thank you man, 50,000 watt blowtorch of rock and roll. It is the ComedyBone.com.
Comedy Bone Podcast in the house, motherfuckers. We can say that, right?
That's pretty cool.
It was great.
It's my podcast. I figure I could say that.
It's exciting having a podcast, isn't it?
It's cool, yeah. I mean, I'm still like, I'm not like, I'm so worried about everything else, the angles that we're looking at and all this sound and everything. It's like,
But this is cool.
I'm
they have
trying
the
to like,
cameras.
at the same time, you know,
Yeah.
be entertaining. It's a lot of work.
Well, you know, we've done the Dick and Darren show. We've done 159 episodes, and we've had everybody from Eric Estrada. I don't know if you guys remember him from
Oh,
Chips.
Punch.
Remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, where's his partner? What does he do now? John.
John. Oh yeah, John and Punch. Where's John? Who knows? And then what was that? It was funny because when I was a kid, we used to play John and Punch on my neighborhood with the
Right.
bicycles. I grew up in a place kind of like this,
Like Big Wheels?
no, actually bicycles.
Regular
We were
bikes,
like
okay.
10 years old, and I'd be, and it'd be Punch and John. Except I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, so all my friends got to be Punch, which I was, we always wanted to be Punch. They were Punch, I was John, and then what did you say, Dick? Who were you?
That was Grossman.
He was always the fat guy behind the desk, in other words.
Nobody remembers Grossman.
I don't remember Grossman. I watched that show religiously when I was young.
He was the fat cop that would be like comedic relief occasionally. He would
I'd
pop
have to
in.
see it, and it'd probably click right in as soon as I saw it. I used to watch Land of the Lost. That was my big show when
Oh,
I
I
was
love
young.
that show.
Oh.
The
The
Sleaze Stacks?
Yeah. So cool.
Marshall, Will, and Holly.
And we
On a
have,
routine expedition.
and then we would just
Fell
have like,
down the greatest earthquake ever known.
High on the rapids. You don't
I
know
don't
it?
know. I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't either.
It struck their tiny raft.
Raft.
Ah! And
they
plunged them
fell
down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost. All right.
Gosh, do you guys feel really old right now?
Yeah, crop superstars from the
sorry.
70s.
Oh yeah.
And we weren't even watching repeats.
Brady
So
Bunch.
bad.
Isn't it wild that Will Ferrell played a character in a Kevin Smith movie named Marshall,
Will and Holly. I remember that.
And then he went on to be in Land of the Lost, the movie.
He must be a fan.
Yeah.
That must be what it is. He must be a fan like us, and he's just like, let's move that into the, it was Bill and Ted's, no, Bill and Ted. It was, Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
I remember that. And nobody knew what he was talking about. It was like, only us. We were the only two. He made himself a character name. That was 3 character names in one. Anyway.
This is one of the things that we were kind of mentioning this earlier when we were talking about movies. When we were kids, when you were growing up, you could quote things from movies and TV shows, and people knew what you were talking about because there was only 3 or 4 channels back then.
Right.
Now there's so much media.
There is.
There's internet, there's TV, there's film, there's everything out there, music. You can't keep up with it all.
I don't know what the kids are listening to.
Yeah, you could reference the most hippest hit TV show out there, and we're like,
But they don't know what Sleaze Stacks are. Except for that damn movie.
That's right.
But of course, only like about 10,000 people saw that, so we're fine still. It wasn't so good. I was hoping for a lot more.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I didn't know what the.
Sucked. But what can you do?
I like Danny McBride and everything he does.
Me too.
He was great.
I didn't like the last season of Eastbound and Down as much as the first 2, but I still love him. He has that character, man. He's cocky and
Yeah.
perfect. Let's see. What should we
I
do
think I
here?
follow him on Twitter. Is it K?
I don't know, but I'm going to do that
Yeah.
too if he's on there.
Follow him on Twitter.
Okay. Is he funny?
Yes, and very cocky, and it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of balls to do a type of character that he does.
Right.
Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, they may have not seen his movies, but Danny McBride, very funny. He's very out there. And, I often think, like, I haven't done a lot of comedic acting. Maybe you guys can weigh in on this.
Right.
Like, let's say you get hired to be on the show and they're like, all right, we want you to be funny. You're like, well, shit, what do I do? Do I do myself like I do on stage? Do I portray some type of character? Like, how do you know you're being funny in a filmed situation? When you're on stand-up stage, you know if you're being funny or
It's
not.
your
'cause you're getting
creation.
you're getting a thing back. You're getting a response. But if they're just, tired crew members who are like, like I did an independent movie.
And you didn't write the script, obviously. So I mean, you're working with what they give you on top of everything else. So yeah.
And the director hired me, and he goes, "All right, you're going to be our comedic relief." He in fact said, "You're going to be our Robin Williams."
Ah.
And I was like, "Oh, should I steal some jokes?" No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so because they were always running behind schedule,
Right.
they would film what was on the script first. We would do a first couple of takes. We would get that down. And then if they had time, they would go, all right, Dick, do you want to improvise and do some things? And it was always like a situation where I'm keeping the crew members from eating.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they had pizza there waiting to go.
Right,
And they're
right.
like, everybody's tired and wants to go to lunch. And then like, oh, it's Dick's turn to be funny. And and they're all like standing there behind the camera with their arms crossed, like looking at me like, fuck this guy.
Right.
And it was super hard. And nobody's laughing. Nobody's even smiling or snickering or anything. And I'm doing the, and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is funny. I'm just floundering here.
Well, hopefully it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I got some good stuff out of that particular thing, if anybody ever sees it. But I'm just saying, like...
Plug the movie.
It's called End of the Road. But anyway, hopefully it's not the end of my career. but Bobby Lee is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He and I grew up performing together in La Jolla. And he's gone on to be in a million things.
Mm-hmm.
And everything he does, it just seems to slam. Like, it's so hilarious.
Some people are just, they have that, you know? It's just, you put them in any situation and they're just funny. Like you guys. I was going to ask you.
See, we all knew to be quiet because that would make the awkward moment funny.
Yeah.
I would think like if it were quiet for me, if I ever had to film something, I probably would just play myself on stage, you know, like, because that's what I know best.
Right.
And it make sure, I don't know, yeah, that's probably what I would do. Yeah.
I have a question for you. We were talking about comedy groupies before, and you have a boyfriend now, but like, does it happen to the girl comics? Do guys come up to you after the show like, hey, let's hang out now?
There's been some occasions, I guess.
Did you ever go for it?
No, never.
Never did anyone from the audience?
No.
Interesting.
Oh, she can have her pick of the comedians,
no, because,
too. They all love her. You know that, right?
Oh,
Especially
I guess.
at the Comedy Store, they all love her. I love her. I'm attracted to her.
Oh,
There we
jeez,
go.
Thanks.
You just had your
That's
name.
a good endorsement. Thanks.
Nice. You just had your name painted on the wall there, right?
Yeah,
while ago.
last summer.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. How long does it take to get like to the point where they want to put your name on the wall? Like you had to go every Sunday and Monday and do that sort of
I
thing?
did that for a few years.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of 3-minute sets.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
a lot.
pretty much. Well, and then they had me in the
pain.
belly room for about 2 years, I think, so.
Oh, cool.
So then
So you put the work in at the store.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did, actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird. I guess every comic has their club where they raise them and kind of give them the stage time, and Comedy Store was the only place that actually gave me that stage time and gave me some help, you know? Like,
That's
the other
awesome.
places really didn't open up to me.
Yeah.
So I was gonna take it, sure.
Do you remember where the first time I met you?
No.
You don't.
I'm so sorry, Brian.
And I think I've brought this up a few times in her presence.
Wait, when?
Dave McNeary's old Annex show every Sunday.
Oh,
We were on it like
man.
3 or 4 times together.
Jeez, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Does he still do that show?
Still does the show. Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
He is really nice.
Yeah. He reminds me of Mr. Garrison. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
The way he sounds, the way he looks. If he wore a green suit and a puppet, that would be it. He'd be it. Speaking of South Park, should we do the quiz?
Oh, yes.
Check this out, you guys. Each of you has a pad. This is, last week we did this and it took a little bit of time, so we're doing this, the short version this week. And once again, you guys have the chance to win
Oh, man,
a
that's so
limited
cool.
edition
Ooh.
Mr. Hanky
Yeah.
and his son Simon. His son Simon.
Oh yeah, with the corn, they don't make that anymore.
No, this has been
what
out of
he
print
said.
for a good few years,
Why
actually.
don't they make it anymore?
They stopped making these things after a while, then they become more
So
valuable.
cool.
That was a hilarious episode. That made
I
our
love that
made
episode.
that made our Christmas one
Oh,
year.
yeah.
We went up and my mother-in-law and everybody, and I think
And
it was a
everyone
Christmas episode, Mr.
watching it as a
Hanky, the
family?
Christmas.
It's- oh, yeah.
We watched it as a family, and then I bought like a little Mr. Hanky doll, and of
Oh,
course
I should show you guys.
they had a little hanky doll, and I remember like sticking it in the refrigerator. So when my mother-in-law would go get some ice cream, she'd open it, and she was like, "Oh, Darren,
There's a piece of shit in the goddamn.
yeah, hello." And didn't he talk like that? Yeah, howdy-ho.
So this has his son Simon, who was born with a peanut in his head, actually. Cornwallis is his other son. He has 3 kids. So anyways,
That's
I'm gonna
hilarious.
ask you guys 3
Oh
questions.
God, is it about something we won't know? I won't know it
Look,
though.
I made these little poops out of clay. They're like
Hang on,
this
let's
size.
get that on there.
Wow.
It's a little dark for some. It's bright, but anyways, there's 3 poops that you made out of clay, and they look like Mr. Hanky kids.
Yeah, well, I made a Mr. Hanky pin a long time ago, and I gave it to my sister.
Cute. So you are a fan of the little
Yeah, I
little
am a
pooch.
Did she like it?
Yeah.
Was she like, hey, Melissa, this is the shit?
Yes, but his little hand fell off. The little, and I had the little white gloves on him too.
Oh.
That's cute. I like when he has the little sailor outfit too sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so there's 3 questions. They don't really have to do with comedy. It's just
Do we have
general.
to hide our answers?
Yeah,
So
don't let
because
anyone see your answer because this is
Okay.
Oh.
maybe hide it from
I
him.
don't want Robin Williams running in here.
He's not gonna know any of these.
If it's about movie trivia, I'm not gonna know it.
It's not movie. There's a little science. There's a little. There's just just give
Okay.
your best guess.
Okay.
Just write down your answer.
All right.
Question number 1: do ostriches bury their heads when they're scared? Number 2: I am going to name 6 porno titles. You have to tell me which one is not real. I Dream of
I got
Weenie.
this one.
They're all parodies.
Okay.
I Dream of Weenie, number 1. Forrest Hump, number 2. Pulp Friction, number 3. Shaving Ryan's Privates, number 4. Number 5, A Nightmare on Jizz Street. Number 6, Honey, I Blew Up My Tits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. One more time real fast. I Dream of Weenie, number 1. Number 2, Forrest Hump. Number 3, Pulp Friction. Number 4, Shaving Ryan's Privates. Number 5, A Nightmare on Jizz Street. Number 6, Honey, I Blew Up My Tits. And number 3. You guys ready? Mm-hmm. How many seconds are there in a year? And the weird... Yeah, you gotta answer this fast. You can't start adding
Can we round it
up.
off to the nearest million?
Whoever's closest gets the point on that one.
How many seconds in a year? Can I Google it?
No, but I have to because I printed it and I made the font so small I can't see it. All right, I got it. All right, you guys got your question? You got your answers down?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to start over here. Melissa, number 1. Do ostriches bury their heads?
Yes. Darn it. I'm not going to get any of these.
Did you guys get it right or wrong?
I put yes.
I put no.
Damn it.
There we go. We got
I knew the answer was no. Fuck.
number 2. What do you guys think? Which is the fake porno title?
I Dream of Weenie.
I Dream of Weenie.
I put number 6.
I put
Honey, I Blew Up My
Blew Up
Tits?
My Tits.
No, none of those are right. It's A Nightmare on Jizz Street. I made that one up.
Oh.
Number
Yeah.
6 was the worst one.
I know. That's why I kind of put it there.
Wait, what was the fake one? Number 5?
The fake one was A Nightmare on Jizz Street, number 5.
Yeah, because the way you said it like it was made up, and I was like, oh, he's saying it different.
Did I?
Did you go da 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 da? Or is it number 5? And then you kind of set it up differently.
That's funny.
Fuck, I'm just stupid.
All right. Well,
I'm not gonna get any of this.
how many seconds in a year,
I put
guys?
1 billion.
1 billion? And what do you think, Melissa?
This is stupid. I put 365 million.
You're closer.
I put 3 million.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure this out. Who's closer? Because we didn't say you can't go over. It's 31,556,926.
Oh, wow.
I'm closest.
31 million?
Do you have more questions?
I know. I had 10 last week.
I didn't hear. Oh,
I'm 27 million off. She's 300 million off. I
All right,
win.
Okay.
I had 2 correct answers.
Melissa,
Yay.
I got an extra one of these. I'm gonna give it to you before you go. I know I know you were like eyeing it, and when I showed it to her before we started the podcast, she's like, "No way!"
Well, how did you get so many of them then?
I bought it from this company. I used to sell things on eBay a lot, and I have a shitload of these.
Literally.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, you can give it to her if you want. Just give it to her.
Give it to her. You sure?
Tell you what, I'll trade you for a spot at Sardo sometime. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Spot.
All
You just
right.
give that to her.
Yes,
Wow.
thank you guys.
I'll put you on
That's
the anniversary show. I think Darren's going to do the anniversary
I hope
show.
so.
Great.
Yeah,
I
the
hope
1 year anniversary show is coming up, July 11th, I think it is, the week after Independence Day. So,
Cool.
if you guys are both free, that'll be fun.
What's this little thing here?
Oh, that's actually a little stand for Hanky to stand in, so you can actually put Mr. Hanky in that, and he won't fall. Yeah.
Oh, this
All
is
right.
so cool. Man, this is great.
I knew you'd like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, if you ever give away that lightsaber, call me.
My brother gave me that for Christmas
I'm gonna be
or my
over here
birthday.
Hey,
competing. I thought you were Jewish.
Dick got really close. He got really close to being what do you call it? A Jedi? To
Jedi Master? I didn't
be-
get really close.
Well, he auditioned for it. They
I
called you
auditioned
in.
at Disneyland. They have a Jedi training show there, and it was a paid gig, $28 an hour, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. to be a Jedi master.
And like you
swinging
go around,
a lightsaber around.
You go around talking to kids like you're Mickey Mouse or something.
Well, you do it. No, you do a show.
Oh, it's
and
actually
you're dressed up like a Jedi master.
Oh, I've seen it.
Darth Vader comes
There's
out.
stormtroopers, and
Yeah.
it's right near where the People Mover used to be. Right below that, where they have food. Yeah, I've seen that show.
Darth Maul's in it.
Yeah. I've walked by it. I've seen it go.
And I just thought, man, it'd be kick ass to be a professional Jedi master.
That is cool.
To have that on your Facebook, under what do you do for?
And you were
living?
close to getting it, you think, or?
No, I wasn't close. There's no Jedis with a gut. I went to the audition. There was like 76 dudes there.
Yeah.
But it really pissed me off because it's a funny show. And they wanted somebody. It said even in the ad they wanted somebody who was funny, and plus. You probably can't tell this by looking at me because I'm a fat guy, but I used to do martial arts. Like, I used to study Japanese swordmanship. I've actually been in a sword tournament in Japan, in Yokohama, Japan, like years ago.
And you told them all this and they didn't take you?
No, I didn't get a chance to tell them anything. You know what they had? You know what the fucking audition was? They line us up, 76 guys in a row.
See what he would say if you were at this audition.
And the guy goes, all right, I want you to tell us your Jedi name, not your real name. You need to make one up. Tell us what planet you're from and who your Jedi master was. Go.
Oh, yeah. That's putting you on the spot there.
Ask him one more time and give him time to think. So ask him one more time.
Your Jedi name, which, just make something up.
Lord Monarch.
And what planet are you from?
Tatooine.
And who is your Jedi master?
Luke Skywalker.
That's pretty good. Now you gave straight answers,
Yeah.
which I did. I said,
what did you say?
My name is, what did I say? I said, my name is Rai Toma. I'm from the Alderaan system and my master was Stas Ali, who's a Jedi master. And they went, okay, thank you.
Those are all both like straight answers.
Yeah, those are straight answers. So this guy next to me, who was this short, hairy guy, he steps forward and he goes, "Hi, I'm such and such from Kashyyyk." Now, when I say
Wookiees are
Kashyyyk,
from.
that's right. So the whole line of guys was like, "This guy doesn't even know that's where the Wookiees are from."
And then he got it.
And he was a hairy guy, and he goes, "Yeah, now you know what it looks like when a short Wookiee shaves himself." And everybody laughed,
Yeah.
and he got the fucking callback. And I was like, "Really? He got the job from that lame joke?" And plus, he was 5 foot tall. What kind of Jedi master is 5 foot tall?
What kind of shaved down Wookiee is 5 foot tall? Oh my god! Did you see the Star Wars holiday special when you were a kid?
I did. I watched it.
That was so bad watching it now. I saw it on I bought it on eBay. Worst piece of crap ever. Have you heard of it and seen it?
No, I haven't. No,
So you didn't see the movie.
People tell me they do these reissues. So if I see Star Wars, I want to see it the way it was meant to be seen. Like
They've done it like 3 times, Darren.
Yeah.
You should have been there already.
Yeah,
They've
I know.
released it with special effects. They've released it with 3D.
I heard some guy complaining about it. He said that there's some scene where I don't even know the names, but the guy is like the Darth Vader at the end where he pushes some guy and he goes no, and then the guy's like, why would he be saying no? The guy falling should be the one going no.
Oh, so Luke Skywalker when
Was
he
that
fell.
the last movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that one was.
I should see the original.
You can tell
one,
he's
right?
never seen. He's like, Darth Vader pushes some guy.
Yeah.
What does Darth
like the
Vader
most-
push a guy?
The most
He's
epic
like, "Get out
scene
of
in
here."
all 6 movies.
I know, doesn't he, like, he didn't push him into like some black hole or some cliff or something like
He
that.
threw the Emperor into a shaft and he exploded.
And he goes-
I was thinking about Luke falling when he cut off his hand too. Yeah, yeah.
It turns out what
Oh,
happened
yeah.
was they took the audio from the Emperor falling, no, and they added it on to Luke falling because Lucas didn't like that he fell and didn't say anything. So when he reissued it, he put that audio on there, and people were like, "Why would he do that?" But really, the main way that they fucked up the Star Wars when they did the reissue was they had Greedo shoot first,
Oh, God.
which is total bullshit. You don't do that. And
The
he
last-
misses from 2 feet away.
Last piece of Star Wars thing, tidbit here. You know the Han Solo and Carbonite?
Yep.
If you go to Disney World, I want to go to Disney World. They'll make like a statue. They laser engrave your face on this carbonite.
Oh,
so
that's
you're
great.
frozen in yeah. They're not in Disneyland, of course, or I would drive down there and do this. But it's a Disney World. Hopefully they'll move it. But
That's super cool.
I have a big thing for that for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, that whole thing captivated me. The carbonite. I have like a little statue of it in there as well. Look at Melissa. She just can't keep her hands off Mr.
Well, you know
Hanky.
what's funny? It says ages 18 and up.
Are you serious? 18?
17-year-old kids like, darn it.
Damn it. I can't have a Mr. Hanky.
Aw.
I wonder why.
It's so cool, though.
That's really strange.
Oh God! You know what? Look what it says at the very bottom: warning, choking hazard.
Mr. Hanky's gonna choke someone.
If your kid's a freak.
Could get
Oh,
dirty.
you mentioned martial arts. I'm actually taking martial arts right now.
Which kind?
Well, I don't
Jiu-jitsu?
know. I guess it's a mixture of jiu-jitsu and karate.
Jiu-jitsu's the best. That's what everyone tells me.
Well, I've been learning a lot of punches and kicks,
If you-
and also playing the sticks.
That's cool. If you go to YouTube and you type
I got my
jiu-jitsu
robe,
verse,
too.
like VS, and it'll show like jiu-jitsu people going against karate, taekwondo. They always win the jiu-jitsu people.
Yeah, but that's because
Wait.
there's rules.
What?
Yeah.
Those are rules.
Well, yeah, you gotta
That's because
understand.
they all have YouTube accounts.
No, dude, you gotta understand. First of all, jiu-jitsu is wrestling. Okay, it's almost all wrestling
With
based.
submissions and yeah.
Yeah, and it's great if you're into that and you want to roll around with a bunch of sweaty dudes. A lot of martial arts, you just practice techniques and forms.
Right.
The good thing about that is you can go on throughout your life and practice those for the rest of your life.
Right.
Like any forms that she's learning at her thing, she can do that every day as like a practice and stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas jiu-jitsu, as you get older, if you don't got another guy with you or a girl that knows jiu-jitsu, how are you going to practice?
I think that I must be learning the karate
Yes.
punches.
So-
Because I've been practicing those.
Yeah.
So karate and kung fu and different things like that, those are what they call striking arts, and jiu-jitsu is a grappling art.
Is
Okay?
that when you're tackling another person on the floor and
Yeah,
stuff?
and you're
okay,
rolling
then
around and you're
then-
trying to break their arm and stuff like that.
Yeah, then that's not what I'm not learning that.
Yeah, now, when you're talking about, everybody says these fights they win. Yeah, because in those fights, there's rules. If you,
Right.
if they get into an octagon with Joe Rogan, doing a commentary, there's not going to be any chops to the throat. There's not going to be any kicks to the face when a guy is down. There's not going to be any pokes in the eyes.
Right.
You're not going to grab a guy's ear and rip it off. All those
Ow.
things that could be done in a street fight.
True. The jiu-jitsu guys can do that too.
Right, but if a jiu-jitsu guy grabs you and tries to take you down in a street fight, what are you going to do? You're going to take your thumbs and you're going to put them on his fucking head and you're going to shove him into his eyeballs. That's what I would do.
Or his butt.
I'm not, yeah, or something. Or I'm going to rip his balls off, literally. I'm not going to let him
Ow.
break my arm
Right.
That's
or
true.
choke me out.
That's
and
true.
It's going to take him a few seconds to do that, whereas I could poke my fingers into his eyes immediately. My point is, when you see these guys go, jiu-jitsu always wins. Yeah, it's because it's a fucking wrestling sport. That's
Right.
why they're winning, and there's rules.
Are you a fan of UFC?
No.
You?
When it's hard to watch it because I have a kid and a wife, and so my wife's like, change the channel because she doesn't want him imitating the moves.
What
But,
do you watch? You haven't seen Star Wars? You don't watch UFC?
My son is in Taekwondo though, which is good, and we teach him that for the
That's mostly
discipline.
defense.
How old
Yeah,
is he?
yeah, he's 4.5.
Oh,
and it's
man,
great.
that's cute, huh?
He had just turned 4, so I was like, gosh, this kid's barely 3. Like, we took him around, and some of the places were not appropriate for kids at all, I didn't think, not for his age, because he was so, like, this one guy was he had like a purple mohawk, and he was like, I'm gonna teach you kids how to kick ass, and it was just like, really? But, like, come on. We just want him to listen to us.
He's
So-
like the Karate Kid sensei.
yeah.
Yes, sensei!
And it's very expensive, and it's funny, I told
Sweep the leg.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they call it Taekwondo because the kids, and they punch, they go, Taekwondo! And they're doing it with their hand, Taekwondo! And then the instructor's back there as they're going, Taekwondo! He's rubbing his hands, do. Payments, kid.
That's right. Where's your parents with the money? So I guess before we go, we're about an hour right now, and I know Melissa. Where are you going? What do you got going on, Melissa?
Well, I guess I'm gonna go to dinner with Kyle.
Oh,
Who's
the
Kyle?
boyfriend? That's her boyfriend.
Wow. Oh, he's a sketch actor. That's right.
That's cool.
Not a comedian.
Where are you guys going?
I don't know. I want. Well,
What do
since
you-
you have pizza, I want pizza now.
Take some. Yeah.
Isn't that funny though? You
Well,
said,
actually, pizza is my favorite, so
Oh, okay.
hopefully pizza.
I remember you were very excited when you headlined LA Pizza, and I gave you that pizza for free.
that
You were
was
like, "Oh my
delicious."
god!"
Yeah, pizza is my favorite.
Who are your favorites, real quick, before we get out of here? Favorite comics besides yourself? I don't.
Oh
think
no,
I know you're not like.
well, Jim Carrey's my number one.
Jim
favorite
Carrey.
man
Yeah.
of all time. And
oh, he's great. Dumb and Dumber is my favorite movie.
You know they're making
Me
another
too.
one with the actual originals.
I hope so.
They
Really?
are.
With
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels and
Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
They tried that Dumber and Dumberer, and it was
Yeah. I didn't see it, and I think it was probably
Yeah.
a good move.
I'd like
Jim
to see
Carrey-
Dumb and Dumberera.
Dumb and Dumb what?
Dumb and Dumberera.
Oh, that'd be cool. Tom Herrera. Yeah.
He's at the Comedy Store a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Laugh Factory.
What about your favorites?
He's one of my favorites. And when people ask me that question, I always think of guys that are still doing it.
Right.
And because it's just too many to list. I mean, Richard Pryor would probably be my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
I saw Sam Kinison a couple of times when he was alive, and I was a big fan of that. But nowadays, guys who are still doing it, I like Dal Marrero a lot. I like Darren Carter. Dude, I've seen Darren Carter a million times, and it's always good. It's always entertaining. Always makes me laugh. And that's the ultimate compliment.
Thank you.
When you see
Dick.
somebody
Thanks,
over and over and over again, and they still make a comedian laugh.
Yeah.
That's, I learn every
That's
time I watch
awesome.
him.
I love your improv at the end, by the way, that you've been doing. I don't know how long you've been doing that, but when you come up with the little sayings at the end where, like, you say, throw me a name or throw me something, and then you make a little rhyme about it.
That's good.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen
Thank you.
that too.
Thank you. That's always a fun thing to do. Because you know what it is? The
crowd loves it,
You do your
too.
act, and it's like, it's fun to do your act, and I love working on the new
Yeah.
jokes, and I love doing the old jokes, but it's like, when you can be in those spontaneous, okay, here's a thing, I'm going to do this, let's have fun with it, let's see what happens, and if it fails, who cares, because we'll keep going.
And
know?
you get the crowd involved, and they're
Yeah.
happy. Yeah,
They love that.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I like Daniel Tosh, like Dal Marrero, I like pretty much people that seems like they're working on something and they're excited. Main thing is if someone's excited to be up there. There's nothing worse than watching, they could be a fantastic comedian, but if they're kind of like sighing into the microphone, like, why am I? It's hard to watch, man. I like to be entertained. I like, it's funny. I went through this whole thing recently where I'm really into Elvis Presley, man. Elvis. I loved Elvis as a kid. Got away from it for a while and then went back, and now it's like I listen to him on Sirius XM, and I've been looking him up on YouTube and watching videos, and that guy was a showman, man. Elvis Presley, he was like great, and he thanked the audience after each song, and it was something to watch,
Yeah.
But you could find your own Elvis Presley. It doesn't have to be Elvis, like something that, whatever, think about musical terms, like what musical performer excites you when you watch them.
Right.
You know? It's hard to watch someone that just, not very entertaining for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I get bored.
Yeah. You have to remember that they're, even when the audience is scarce and when there's
what do they say? They say when you play to 3 people like it's 300 and play to 300 like it's 3.
Yeah. I've been guilty of that in the past. I have been.
I like hearing that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to get yourself motivated when there's like, when they're not laughing, but you're right.
Yeah.
You gotta own it every single time.
And don't do too many shit gigs in a row. It's like if you have one awful gig, it's rough. But if you have 2 in a row, you're like, ugh, but it's hard. You can't do more than 2 in a row. Try not to.
I need to stop running weekly shit gigs then.
Yeah. It just beats you down, man. It really does. It honestly does.
Since I just started headlining like just last summer, and it was pretty overwhelming because I was only doing like 15-minute spots around town, and then all of a sudden it was that demand that I had to do like a half hour, and thankfully now the colleges like have helped me to do an hour, it pushed me, but geez, bombing after bombing for comedy clubs for a long time.
Yeah.
And still it's hard, but there was one week I was in Vegas, I had a feature for a comic, and it was Tuesday through Sunday, 2 shows per night.
Oh boy.
And I was just bombing the whole week, and it was just, how do you get, that's just,
Was there someone opening for you at least?
There was an opener, but it was just the first time, like kind of one of the first times on the road, so it was really scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have no one there, it's like, it's tough, and I don't like Vegas, and there was
I know. One thing
know.
that I learned, and I'll just keep this brief, I just talked about this on Dal Marrero's podcast, but Jamie Masada gave me some great advice. He's the owner of the Laugh Factory.
Right.
And he told me, he goes, Darren, I can tell you one little bit of advice that'll make you, get to that next level, whatever, whatever, And here's what he said. He told me just to connect with the audience more, to give them more eye contact. Because I guess before I wasn't, and I swear, man, once I started like.
Did you watch your videos and say, oh, he's right,
No, because I couldn't really tell on video, but I could tell once he told me to like look at the audience in the eyes more.
Right.
Because before I would which I'll show you what I would do before. I'll look at you guys this is how I used to look at people as I was performing. I kind of look like this. See, I'm kind of looking at your foreheads and stuff, and so it looks like I'm looking, but as opposed to like really like looking at you when we're talking, it's a total different connection.
Making a personal connection with everybody in the crowd.
Yeah. Before, what I would do is I'm gonna perform, and I would perform for like, let's say 10 minutes, and let's say it's a 30-minute set. So the first 10 minutes I'm just performing, and I'm looking at them, but not really to them. I'm just kind of like looking, and then then there'd be a point where I was like, okay, now I'm really going to look at them. Hey, where are you from? What do you do for a living? And that's where you're really connecting. And haven't you ever noticed when you're spontaneous, it's because you're probably really looking like, what is your problem? Because you're really looking at the person.
Yeah, I've noticed. And when you're not looking at them, it's almost like you're reading a script in your mind rather than being there and telling the story to a friend.
Right.
Yeah, so it's exactly, I'm totally relate to that.
It's like you're memorizing, you're like, and as you're talking, you're sort of like picturing how you wrote the words, and as opposed, same thing with acting. Like I used to bomb a lot of auditions because as I was performing, the audition, I'm thinking, what are the lines, and I'm trying to, and it's awful as opposed to when they're already memorized and you're just saying the lines.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I thank you so much for coming all the way out here and being on the podcast. It was awesome. Thank you,
This
Dick,
is nice up
Darren,
here.
and
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Yeah, thanks
You guys
for
got to come up
having me.
here sometimes. Granada Hills, right? Is that where we're at?
Granada Hills in the house. Yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah,
All over
not much to,
Hollywood.
there's not much to do down here compared to like where you guys live. I'm sure. Where do you live?
I live like close to Los Feliz, I guess. But
Yeah.
I want to move to Pasadena. That's my favorite city.
Isn't it
Yeah.
great? I
That's
love
that's
Pasadena.
my favorite. That's where I'm gonna move.
All right. Well,
All right,
thank you
well.
guys. Episode 2
Thanks for
is
Mr.
in the can.
Hanky.
Yeah, you got it. Enjoy it. And we're gonna say goodbye. And thanks again, guys.
Thank you. Thank
Have
you so
some
much.
pizza before you leave. Yes.
Bad.